Hey, good evening guys, Tush coming at you. It's Tuesday, August the 1st, and we're just coming up to 8 p.m. Looks like we're going to have thunder showers every afternoon, evening this week. We just had a pretty good little storm here, and the ground's still wet. Pretty good thunder and lightning. Anyway, we are into August, and we've got a nice blank calendar staring back at us, and I thought it'd be a good time to have a little chat amongst us and get a few things out in the air, onto the table, so to speak. So this car is not going to make it to British Car Day. I've been throwing hints out for the last month or even longer. We've been working on this car for 120 days now, and we put a pretty good dent in a lot of the work that needed to be done on this car, but obviously there was a lot more work than what you would expect by just looking at the exterior of the car, which seemed to be in pretty good condition with the exception of a few noted areas that we sort of dug into right at the beginning. This area here and this area here were obviously showing some signs that it had some pretty serious Bondo and some rust issues. So if you recall, if you go back to video number 1, we broke out the grinder and the DA, and we sanded this area down just to have a look, just to see what we're getting ourselves into. And this is probably a pretty good indicator or a precursor to what we were going to be getting into later on once we got the fenders off. So as many of you know who followed along, when we did get the fenders off, we found a lot of work had been done to this car previously, an astonishing amount of work actually, and not necessarily good work. Everything from the frame to the body work has been extensively worked on previously, and obviously that was kind of unbeknownst to me when I first made the claim that we try to get this done in 168 days. So anyway, it was probably a little presumptuous to think that we could get this done without even having taken any of the body panels off, but it was a fun challenge, let's say, and unfortunately not one we're going to be able to make the goal of, which was British Car Day on September 15th, I think it was. Let me go back to the calendar here. I keep forgetting the day of British Car Day. No, it's the third Sunday in September, and I don't want to get it wrong, so it's the 17th of September. So we're obviously still planning on going to BCD, but it just won't be with the TR250. We'll probably take the TR3A, the 60 TR3A. It's the 60th anniversary of the TR3A anyway, so we still have an anniversary car to celebrate with. It's just not the 50th anniversary car that you see in front of us. So we obviously gave it our best effort to try and get the car there. I had some help from Ellen and from Les along the way to try and help me to make that date, but that's not going to happen. So what I've decided to do is, and many of you have sort of been on my case about this anyway, I think for the month of August we're not going to bother recording any T-minus dates. We're just going to work on the car as we see fit, but I plan on doing some other things that I should do during the summer months. The summers are awfully short up here. I do have a couple cars in storage that I need to drive. I need to get out of storage, so I think what we're planning on doing is getting one or both cars out of storage and driving those to a few events over the summer. So that's number one. I have a few family commitments in August that I need to, I want to do, and I actually have a business trip or two that I also need to do. So August is pretty full already. So we're going to not give up and not throw in the towel on the car. We're just going to maybe not sacrifice, I guess, some of the things we were sacrificing in order to try to get this done for British Car Day. So some of you are probably asking, so what does that mean as far as the timeline for completion on this car? And to be honest with you, I don't really have a date to complete this car. Don't like working to dates in particular. I know I set the date of British Car Day to try and get this car done, but that was more of a fun challenge than anything else. But this car needs a tremendous amount of body work to get it to a point where I'll be happy with it and proud to drive it and to show it. It's not going to be a concours car. It was never meant to be, but we definitely want to get it as best that we can possibly do. So I would think that this body work alone on this car was probably going to take another couple months to get it to a point where the gaps look good, the fenders are all straight, panels have all been beaten out, all the rust has been removed, etc., etc. So 2 to 3 months, I would say, which puts me significantly behind my deadline for British Car Day. But so be it. Some of these panels need a tremendous amount of work, like this rear driver's side fender. I think I might even have to invest in a new fender, which I hate to have to do. But there's been so much work done on the rear of this fender that I don't think I can rescue that. And there are other things that have come to light. For example, the bumper mounts. I'm wondering why they welded up the stock bumper mount location and moved it 2 to 3 inches lower. So that needs some investigation. Those are the kind of things I'm talking about that I've discovered on this car when taking it apart. So yeah, it's going to take a while to get this body done. And the problem then with the timeline is that it may take 2 to 3 months to get this body work done. And the problem being I will not be able to spray this car paint-wise in a garage because it'll be by that time late fall, early to late fall, and I'll have passed my window to be able to spray anything in the garage as far as primer on this car. So unfortunately that's going to elongate the process more so, since I'll not be able to do a ton of work on the car, at least on the body, over the winter time. Now I could possibly work on the chassis. I'm sure I'll be able to find things to do, so that won't be a problem. It's just, it would have been nice to have the body painted and maybe the fenders painted, at least the body tub painted, so you can start reassembling things like, getting the wiring harness for the dash, the interior back in the car. The fenders can always be put on at a later date, painted and put on at a later date. But it would have been nice to have the body tub painted to work with over the winter time. But like I said, that doesn't look like it's going to be the case. We're definitely not throwing in the towel on this project. And we are going to continue working on it as much as we can. So don't worry about that. We're not going to just throw a cover over it and abandon it. We'll make it right. Alright guys, I think enough chatting for this evening. But before I go, I just wanted to thank everybody for watching and subscribing and commenting on my videos. I get very few negative comments on my videos, mostly positive, and I thank you for that. They are very inspirational or motivational, let's say, to keep me coming back out here even when I'm not feeling so good, or if I had a bad day at work, or if I'm overly tired. Sometimes all it takes is for me to read a few comments and I'm back out here in the garage continuing on. So we'll do the same. Whenever we can get out here, we will. But like I said, we're going to have a little bit of summer left, and we're going to enjoy what little bit of summer we have left. Probably only a few months before the snow starts to fly again. How depressing is that? But I don't want to end this on a depressing note, so anyway, one day it will be beautiful. Oh, before I go, for those of you that are still watching, I've got a little secret. I'm not going to tell you what it is right now, but stay tuned. You might see something new in a couple weeks.